Hi there, Prairie Plant Girl here. Today I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to try and overwinter some of the tomatoes that I had growing in my garden this summer. I had grown some of these beautiful cherry sprinkles chocolate sprinkles tomatoes. You can see they're a very tiny little tomato. They're grown off an indeterminate plant. I thought I would try to overwinter some cuttings. So what I did is I just snipped some cuttings off of the top of the plants. They're an indeterminate plant, so they keep growing and growing, and I thought this would be a good way. So I've had these ones sitting here in water. Let's see if I can get them apart. I've had these sitting in water, and as you can see, they've grown some really nice, strong, healthy roots. They've been here, I think, probably a month and a half, maybe 2 months already. It's been longer. They're due to be planted. I also took a cutting and just stuck it straight in soil, and it's also developed a very strong root system. You can see it doesn't want to just pull out. They've even fruited some of these, so I'm going to get these all planted up and pot them up and see if I can get them to overwinter. I'll also probably wind up taking the seeds out of a few of these tomatoes to see if I can save them that way as well, just in case the cuttings don't last. But my goal here is just to keep the cuttings alive through the winter and be able to pot them back or plant them back out in the spring to try and get the plants going again. Never done this before, so it's going to be a bit of an experiment, but I thought it was one that was worth trying. So I pre-moistened some soil. It's just a basic potting mix. And I have a pot with drainage holes and just a little bit nicer pot for it to sit in. So I'm going to plant one in there, and then I'm going to try just putting this one, just putting more soil. You can see that it's just sitting in a cocoa pot there. So I'm going to try and just fill this up with soil and grow this one in here. It doesn't have drainage. I'm not sure how well it's going to go, but we're going to give it a try, and then I have 2 different pots going. And then, like I said, I'll save a few seeds out of these as well, and that'll, hopefully I'll get something out of all of these. I'll be able to grow these tomatoes again. So pretty simple here. It's just like any other planting. I'm going to, because they're such big drainage holes, I'm just going to use my trusty coffee filter to line the bottom of the pot there, just to keep my soil in. And so, like I had said, these have a pretty strong root system going on them. And it really shows you that example. I've shown before in some of my other videos how you can plant a tomato plant extra deep and it'll root out of the stem. And that's all these were stem cuttings, and you can see how it's grown roots all along the stem there. So I'm going to put these even deeper than the roots are. I think I'll trim some of these leaves that aren't looking too healthy off. I'm going to set them quite deep down in the soil. And I think I'll take this little tomato off as well. So then I'll just continue to fill, and I've just set them in. They're just set in there. Remember, I'm not looking for any big growth, or I just want to keep them alive and healthy as I can through the winter, growing indoors. Much too cold here to have them outside, so I'll do what I can to just keep them alive until I can get them potted back out in this late spring, early summer. So this is October 19th, and our last frost-free day is about, the average last frost-free day is May 21st, I believe, here. So really depends on the soil temperatures. I do have some ways to get things warmed up and get the tomatoes out a little earlier than normal here, but that's still, what, about 8 months that these are going to have to grow on indoors. So not sure how it'll go, but I'm going to give it a try. So that's that one. We'll water that soil down a little bit more, just to let it settle down. And the advantage of this pot is if I get a little over exuberant with the water there, I can always lift this pot out, drain the water off, and put it back in. Now, this one doesn't have drainage. It's a solid bottom. Looks like a hole in there, but that was just from the other pot. But I'm going to try and plant this one in here, and I'll just have to pay a little extra attention to it. I'd like to be able to bury this stem a little deeper as well. Oh, and there's a tomato on this one too. We'll pop that one off. So there, I use some of this water. There, so we have this one planted up. They're looking a little scraggly, but they had a little bit of a shock when they came in the house, and they've just been sitting, you know, and under grow lights, and that's how they're going to be for, what I say, the next 8 months. So there, now I have 2 ways that I can try and get some more of these delicious chocolate sprinkles tomatoes growing in my garden next summer. I have the seeds that I collected out of 3 of the tomatoes, and I'll let those dry, and I'll label them and put them in a breathable, probably an envelope, and I'll just keep them until 6 to 8 weeks before my average last spring frost, and then I'll get them started indoors. And then I have these cuttings that I took in the fall, and now I've got them planted up in soil, and I'm just going to keep them under grow lights, keep them watered. And basically my goal here is just to keep them alive. I'm not looking to have lush flowering, fruiting plants over the winter. I'm just really just want to keep them alive so that I can plant them out in the late spring, early summer once the soil and the air has warmed up enough for them. And then hopefully I'll have more of these delicious tomatoes to eat next summer. There, I just wanted to show you what they look like. This is 10 days after these tomato plants have been in soil, planted up here properly. So look at how much healthier they're doing. Nice and strong, bright green leaves. There's one little bit here. I think that's from before, so I'll have to trim that off. This guy's still going strong, and looks like I missed a tomato because it has one going there and the other plant there in the back. But they look amazing. They look strong and healthy. So here's an update on my tomato cuttings. So my tomato cuttings that I rooted and trying to grow inside over the winter. We're looking a little bit wilty. I don't know, the leaves were getting a little bit of dark patches and then drying up, and so I'm thinking they have some sort of a fungal or bacterial infection. When I cut the stems look healthy. So I did pretty severe pruning back to what looks like healthier leaves. You can see there's a couple there, the back there, that are still looking a little bit droopy. This one's looking pretty good now. So like I said, I trimmed off the leaves that looked really the worst. And then I mixed up a combination of ground up eggshells and cinnamon. The eggshells should help deter if there's any fungus gnats trying to get down to the roots and lay eggs. Should help deter them a little bit. And also as they break down further, it'll add some calcium to the soil because there could be a calcium deficiency. And then cinnamon is a good antifungal. So I'm hoping that that will help to get these plants looking a little healthier. It's November 17th and the tomato cuttings I took are looking very nice. I've got them potted up. Under some grow lights. I'd say they're doing pretty well. So let me know if you've done this before. I'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, then hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any more of my videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.